you still envision, is open to the vision that those would be harmonized within the sections of the rules that the ED is proposing to open?
Yes, the main sections would be the same. We would maybe not have do it the exact same way. We have investigated some alternative proposals that we would be happy to give, maybe not at this time, maybe a little bit more work on that. But certainly we have explored some other alternatives and do think that there is some wiggle room within the language of the statute and the legislative intent to allow for something that maybe isn't as broad as the current proposal. But I believe it would open the same sections that you described.
And then to the extent that it opens the same sections, that resolves in my mind the concern I had on the other item that we would come back and think it's out of scope. But if we agree that it opens up the same sections, then I guess in my mind that concern is alleviated. We have proposed rules in the past that we have had to walk back because of the appropriate public comments that we get. And so if you end up with proposing a rule that is overly broad, it's easier to scale it back than to scale it up. Would you agree with that? Okay, all right, and you have seen us do that in rules where we actually scaled it back because of the public comment that's involved. I think those things are left for us to consider. And again, my concern with the other item is I wanted to make sure that it was broad enough in scope that we wouldn't find ourselves out of scope if we wanted to make the changes. The last comment I would make is, yeah, we are moving very rapidly in implementing not only this rule, but the one that Glass mentioned earlier that you're bringing that affects you guys at the next agenda. And I think that's appropriate for the agency to do the sunset, ask for changes in the agency we need to bring it. So I'm open for some discussion amongst ourselves, but my primary concern is the scope issue. I don't think that manifests itself in this situation, but I'm open for discussion.
If I could add, Chairman Shaw, to that, it's not our desire or our habit as a commission to gauge the artfulness or inartfulness of the legislature and their efforts. And it seems to me what I'm hearing is the confusion or the request for delay is based on the reasonableness of what it is that passed. And that if we get more and more input and we delay it and it illustrates all the unreasonable realities of what passed, does it help us that we have to implement what's already been passed? And that's what worries me, is that a litany of things that are unreasonable about this. But it passed, and we've been tasked with this before. We don't have a lot of wiggle room that we are where we are. And it sounds to me like whether it be a continuance now or even until next session, this idea of reasonableness really needs to be addressed by the legislature. Now, how we move forward now, I recognize this is for publication and the limitations once you put something out there, and I'm willing to listen to my colleagues on that. But I don't want to miss the overarching concern that I'm hearing, which is this is not reasonable, guys. Don't do it. And I don't think we have a lot of wiggle room there. So that's where I'm really frustrated as well. But that's the nature of what we have to deal with.
And I think certainly we're making some attempts to address and ensure that we're harmonizing with issues that are there, but clearly we have to follow the legislature, the legislation that was presented there. We have a late arrival who would like to address the commission on this as well, since we did not disclose this item. I'd like to invite Mr. Gossett to make some comments. We'll get to you too.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Paul Gossett. I represent Texon on this matter. I'd like to address just one part of the discovery. Texon is concerned that there are circumstances which historically have fallen within the category of allowing an extension of continuance as justice may require. For example, a party, a witness, an agency staff member, even an attorney, could be ill and unable to meet one of these inserted deadlines, and it happens at the last minute. What can you do? Well, the proposed rule comes up with one solution that's good. In the preamble says, hey, it notices that it doesn't prohibit Rule 11 agreements, That's good. That's when everybody agrees with each other, and presumptively